Steelers fans, Eagles fans are feeling really good about themselves right now. They're 6-0. They're one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl, and they think that they're the best team in Pennsylvania. But guess what, guys? We have the 6 Super Bowls. They only have the 1. We are the most storied franchise in the state, and it is Civil War this week. So in the comments section, I want you to go and type F PHI for if you hate the Philadelphia Eagles. It is Civil War, fellas, so go into the comments section, and whoever types the most FPHIs in the comments section will get a special shout out on Sunday's post-game reaction show. What's good, Steeler Nation? My name is Jack Sperry, and you are watching Steelers Talk. Today, we are going to be previewing the Steelers versus the Philadelphia Eagles, the Civil War of Pennsylvania, and it's going to be a good one, fellas. I cannot wait to see this one. I know that the Steelers are 2-5 right now, and I'm in the dumps, but at the end of the day, we have a chance to beat a rival this week. They're in the NFC, we're in the AFC, so we don't see each other all too often, so this is a special matchup. I cannot wait to get things going with you here today. Now let's look at the Steelers injury report going into this week, and once again, it's quite a list. We have 3 big names on that injury report on the injured reserve this week. TJ Watt, of course, is still out with that pectoral muscle tear, and then we got DeMarvin Leal. He's also out with a knee, and then we learned this week that Calvin Austin III will be out for the remainder of the season with that foot injury. But then we also have 5 relatively notable players that are questionable going into the week. Pat Freiermuthand is questionable with an ankle. Levi Wallace is battling a shoulder injury. Larry Ogunjobi is questionable with a knee. Montravius Adams is questionable with a hamstring. And then Josh Jackson is questionable with a groin. Now, with those questionables, let's take a look at if they practice or what their practice kind of status was today. So today, Pat Freiermuthand, he was a full go. He's most likely going to be able to play on Sunday, which is great for Kenny Pickett, which is great for our offense. We really need him out there because he's one of our better contested catch guys on third down. So having him out there will be huge. Then we got Levi Wallace, who did not practice today. He's really questionable, guys. Like, at the end of the day, he may not play on Sunday. It would definitely hurt not to have him out there. Same thing with Larry Ogunjobi. Did not practice the last couple of days. Hopefully he can be out there on Sunday wreaking havoc in the middle there. Montravius Adams was a full go. He's most likely going to be able to get the start at nose tackle for the Steelers. And then Josh Jackson, he's a backup, so it's not as important, but he was a limited participant today, so his questionable status is legit as well. Let's take a look at the Steelers defensive line depth chart right now, where you can see there's some bigger injuries there. Ogunjobi's hurt, Montravius Adams is hurt, and then DeMarvin Leal is on IR. So if Ogunjobi and Adams can't go, I mean, it's looking pretty slim pickings there on the interior of the defensive line, other than Cam Hayward, who is obviously excellent. But we really do need Ogunjobi and Adams on that field. I mean, Alualu would be fine at nose tackle if Adams isn't able to go, but Ogunjobi is really going to be a big one for us moving into the weekend. Now, this is the part in the show, guys, where I ask you to go and click that big red button and join our family here at Steelers Talk. Right now, we are about 500 subscribers away from 19K, and if we get there, when we get there, I know we're going to get there, Steeler Nation, I am going to put on a bald cap and be Terry Bradshaw for an entire episode of this program. I mean, we're getting a bald cap, guys, with the fringes on the side and everything, the whole 9 yards. Once we get to 19K, again, we're about 500 away. I'm going to put that bald cap on, and I'm just going to bear it all here on screen for you guys. I appreciate you, Steeler Nation. All right, now let's get into the Eagles injury report. And as you can see, their list is much shorter. Derek Barnett, the edge rusher, is on IR with a knee injury. Brandon Graham is questionable and did not practice today. So this might be why the team went and got Robert Quinn the other day. That's going to be a big X factor in this game as well. And then Seumalo, I think is how you say that name. He's questionable with an ankle. He's one of their starting offensive guards. If he's out, that could be a hole for the Steelers to exploit. We already know Lane Johnson is hurt as well, so that'll be interesting to see how this whole process works for the Eagles in their lineup. Now, go predict who is going to win this game. The the Civil War of Pennsylvania. Type Pittsburgh if you think Pittsburgh is going to win this week, or type PHI if you think that it's going to be the Eagles. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So when there's an ad break, it's the perfect time to go and leave a comment who you think is going to win this ball game. Now, I just want to give a quick shout out to some of the people that gave me a follow on Twitter in the last couple days. Darrell Richardson, thank you so much, man. Kevin Cassell, thank you, man. God-Seeking Angel, thank you for the follow. Jerome Perkins, thank you so much, dude. Love the picture there of the yellow Steelers helmet. And then Steeler Chad 1980, thank you guys so much. If you want a shout out on the next video of Steelers Talk, go follow me at Jack_Sperry on Twitter. Now let's get into my keys to the game in this one. Number one is we have to play a clean game. No interceptions. We can't have another 3-interception game from Kenny Pickett. Let's take a look at the offense and how they've kind of been killing themselves as a whole this year. 12 turnovers so far, guys. That's 27th or tied for 27th in the National Football League right now. That's not going to cut it. Penalties, we're 42. That's tied for 18th. That's below average numbers right now. We're kicking ourselves in the face when we need to be helping ourselves out. And this weekend against a very talented Philadelphia Eagles team, it's going to be paramount to not have many penalties and then to have practically 0 turnovers. And if we do have turnovers, it's got to not cost us big. It can't be like a pick six or a red zone interception. We've got to limit the mistakes in this game, guys, because Philly definitely has a lot more talent than the Steelers right now. So will Pittsburgh finish Sunday's game with 0 turnovers, guys? I don't know about this one. We've been throwing a lot of interceptions lately. But if you think that we can do it, type Y for yes. And if you're like me and think we might throw a couple picks or have a couple fumbles, type N for no. Now, this is the part in the show where we give a big shout out to our sportsbook partner here at Chat Sports, BetUS. And they are offering you guys a fantastic deal that you definitely want to take advantage of if you love sports betting like I do. Right now is one of those rare times of the year where baseball, football, basketball, and hockey are all going on at the same time. The market for betting is like no other any time of year. This is the perfect time to be a sports bettor. And right now you can get a 125% deposit bonus if you use promo code Steelers125. And guys, essentially what that means is if you put in a deposit of $100 to $600 on their website, they're going to give you 125% of that money back to use on your bets. It's just a fantastic deal that you want to take advantage of. You're going to have to go to chatsports.com/bet to get the deal. Use Steelers125 to get the 125% deposit bonus. Now, let's get into some of the odds for this weekend. And obviously the Steelers, it's not looking too great in the odds department. They are 10.5 point underdogs this week. We talked about it earlier in the week. It's definitely not looking great for the Steelers in terms of the betting market. The total over-under is 43. So not really a high-scoring game is what they're expecting. I think what they're expecting is the Eagles are going to get out to an early lead and then just kind of run the football out. And that's kind of the expectation right now. But I'm hoping that the Steelers can really pull a rabbit out of their hat this week and shock the NFL world. If they're going to do that, they're going to have to do this number 2 thing on my list. Get the run game going with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. Here's Najee Harris's stats for the season so far. Definitely not great so far, guys. Plain and simply, a lot of people are calling this guy a bust already. I mean, I've seen it in the comments section here on the channel. They're saying Najee Harris is terrible. He's a bust. He's never done anything in this league. And at the end of the day, I mean, if you look at the production, you can definitely say that. But look at the offensive line and then look at the run game scheme that we're running. We're running a heavy zone run scheme with an offensive line that's not very athletic. That's a mismatch, and that's Matt Canada's fault, not necessarily the team's fault or Najee Harris's fault. Harris is still very powerful. He's still very talented. at the end of the day, if we can give him the scheme and the talent on the offensive line to help him out, I'm a big believer in Najee Harris's future. And then also Jaylen Warren, who's been a big standout this year. It's looking like he's going to get a couple more carries per game to kind of help out Najee Harris, and then also use Warren's explosive athleticism that we've been seeing in spurts throughout the year. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Warren. I think he's a fantastic second running back option, and he's doing so well that some people are even calling for him to start over Najee Harris right now. I don't think I'm going to go that far, but I'm a big fan of Jaylen Warren as well. And they're going to have to do fantastic this weekend to beat the Eagles. Okay, they have some of the best cornerbacks in football with Darius Slay, James Bradbury. At the end of the day, the Steelers need to run the football if they're going to beat this team, and they're going to have to score some touchdowns on the ground. So how many rushing touchdowns do you think that the Steelers will have versus the Eagles this weekend? Now, my number 3 key to the game here is keep Hurts in the pocket. Now, Jalen Hurts, guys, he's a bit overrated in my eyes. I've watched quite a bit of film on him, and he definitely has some areas of his game that are definite rocky areas, and that I think that the Steelers can take advantage of this week. So here is how you can stop Jalen Hurts. Number 1, you have to keep him in the pocket. At the end of the day, he's kind of a shorter guy. So the thing about shorter quarterbacks is that usually they like to get out of the pocket so they can see downfield better. So if you can keep him in the pocket and keep him confined to that space and make him look over those massive offensive linemen, then at the end of the day, you can have success with this guy. Where teams get in trouble with him is they let him out of the well, they let him get outside the pocket, use his legs, pick up third downs on third and short with his legs, and then get outside the pocket for big explosive plays to his really great receivers in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. The second thing that we need to take away this weekend is we need to take away the deep middle of the field. Here's the thing, guys. Jalen Hurts' arm is nothing special. He doesn't have the arm talent to really deliver 40-yard bombs to the sideline outside the numbers. If he's going to be throwing deep, usually if it's going to be accurate, it's going to be across the middle of the field. And if you watch A.J. Brown's route tree, he's going across the middle of the field more often than not, and that's where they want to go. So you got to take away that part of the field, and you got to force Hurts to throw it to the deep outside part of the field. That's where you want him to throw the football. And listen, once in a while, they're going to connect. I mean, we've seen it this season. Devontae Smith's had some nice catches on the outside. A.J. Brown has had some nice catches on the outside. You can definitely get rid of it. They can definitely sling the rock. But at the end of the day, you need to take that risk. Then finally, you need to switch up looks post-snap. Hurts is a pretty darn good pre-snap processor where he can diagnose what the defense is kind of showing before the snap. But then if you rotate coverages after the snap, you rotate your safeties and you do all these exotic things, he gets scared and he tries to escape the pocket and he tries to use his legs. So I mean, if we want to make him uncomfortable, if we want to make him not comfortable in the pocket, we need to be able to switch up our coverages, rotate the safeties, switch things up on him post-snap so that he gets scared and tries to leave the pocket. Now, at the end of the day, this offense, it's really, really good. It's really, really talented. It's going to be tough to beat. I mean, if I know this stuff, every NFL team in the NFL knows this stuff. And they've been trying to stop Jalen Hurts in this offense, and they can't because it's really, really tough. Jalen Hurts is a very talented player, and he's got the best offensive line in football, some really good receivers, but it's not impossible, guys. If the Steelers play disciplined, if they have the right game plan, they can stop Jalen Hurts and this Eagles defense this weekend, potentially. Now, my final key to the game is you have to take advantage of any and all Philadelphia Eagles mistakes because at the end of the day, they don't make a ton of them. I mean, seriously, last week we dropped 4 interceptions. 4 interceptions that if we catch 2 or 3 of those, we probably end up winning that game last week against Miami, and we're sitting here with 3 wins instead of 2, and that's a big difference, guys. This week, the Eagles aren't going to give you that many opportunities. Right now, they only have 2 turnovers all season. All year, just 2. And 31 penalties is the 4th best in the National Football League. So at the end of the day, they're not going to beat themselves. And I mean, if there's an opportunity for a pick, to get a pick 6, to recover a fumble in their own territory, it's so important for the Steelers to capitalize there, because at the end of the day, just speaking facts here, the Eagles are more talented than the Steelers. So whatever opportunities are there for the taking to help us along, I'm going to take that all day long. Now, I want you guys to predict the score of Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia in the Pennsylvania Civil War this weekend in the comments section. And now, without further ado, here is my score prediction. Unfortunately, I think the Eagles are going to win this one. I think they're going to win this one 28-6 very comfortably. Here's why, guys. We did not have a good performance offensively last week with a bad defense against Miami. I mean, Miami is in the bottom third in most defensive categories, and we scored 10 points, multiple 3-and-outs. We're not facing that kind of defense anymore, guys. They have one of the best defenses in football. They really force you to play disciplined ball. And right now, Matt Canada, Kenny Pickett, there's just so many issues along this offense right now. I don't think there's going to be many opportunities to score. I think we get 2 field goals, but no touchdowns for the Steelers. And then I think they do okay against Jalen Hurts this week, only giving up 28 points. But, I mean, at the end of the day, that's 4 touchdowns, and I think that'll be enough for them to get the victory. So, once again, guys, just because I think the Eagles are probably going to win this game doesn't mean I like them. It doesn't mean that I don't want the Steelers to win. So if you hate the Philadelphia Eagles and their arrogant fan base right now with their 6-0 and their Super Bowl favorites and all these other things that they like to claim about themselves, if you don't like that stuff, go to the comments section right now and spam F PHI, F Philly in the comments, and whoever types it out the most times will get a special shout out on Sunday's post-game reaction. Until next time, guys, my name is Jack Sperry. This has been Steelers Talk, and until next time, peace, guys.